All right, let's test this theory. In theory, it should be working. Wow. In theory, it's working. See if this works. Okay, it works. Without all the fancy shit. I cursed already. I'm not good for broadcast. Without all the fancy accoutrement that I usually have, it actually works better. Well, let me turn down the copyright material here because YouTube will freak out. So I'm playing some Thin Lizzy. There, I said it, and the algorithms are going to kick in. Well, I thought I would do this, folks. It's a Monday. Why not, right? As long as I can figure out how to see your comments. Well, hello. So I just go to, okay, great. So I can go to comments. I want to see if anyone's on YouTube. Because there's a few people who only watch on YouTube. There we go, YouTube. I can see that. You put this right next to each other. Oh yeah, let's see about Twitter. I refuse to call it anything else. God, I just got used to calling it Twitter. So, well, I didn't get used to it, but all right. I really should stop the music, right? Because some of these friggin' systems help. Sorry, I'm just trying to deal with X, this nonsense. Instead of, okay. Sorry, folks, just doing, it's been a while, so some technical things. Just seeing about username. Hell, Elon Musk, well, I don't know what to say here, pal. All right, so Twitter, whether that broadcast part is up or not, I do not know. But I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on YouTube. So that's working. So how's everyone doing? I see a couple people watching. If you want to comment, please do. Let me know that. Okay, great. Let me know. So go to comments. I want to see. Let me know if the audio works. That's the first thing that would be cool to help. I think it does, though. Yeah. And I'm going to do something pretty extreme today, though. Let's see. I got to turn this off. Look at my cheesy little. It does that when it comes on and off. My cheesy little speaker here, which, when you're on tour, you try to take as little as you can, because it's like camping in many ways. It overlaps. I haven't camped in decades, but I remember doing it a few times and knowing you can carry as little shit as you can. That's the idea, and be efficient. So you get little things. Look at this little USB speaker. And I keep saying, oh, I got to buy a new one, man. I got to buy a cool. But this is probably $10 or something in a truck stop. It's really tiny and actually pretty good. Anyway, just a reminder that there's always some stuff lying around that you can use. So what I'm going to try today is doing this on Instagram also. Todd Reynolds, how are you, my friend? How appropriate. You are the first person to show up. This was impromptu. I woke up on the bus this morning and like, oh wow, yeah, no show, we're off. It's Monday, you know, let's do Meatless Monday. So this was completely random. And Todd, you've been encouraging me to get on here a little more often and communicate and connect and get back to that broadcaster side, which is in my blood, my namesake. Won't jump topics right now, but yeah, the uncle I was named after is a broadcast pioneer, a broadcast trailblazer in the Caribbean, and he helped set up many of the independent radio stations in not only Guyana, where he was born, where we were born, but also in Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, a couple other countries, I think Grenada maybe, and St. Kitts, you know, a lot of other places. But anyway, broadcasting, being in front of a microphone, I've got a great face for radio, and we are adding it to video. In any event, Scott Fisher, what's up? How are you, bro? Take a little time off your prep time and hang out with me here. Yeah. Bob Gluck. Wow, this has really turned into a party of incredible dimensions. It's going to be a caffeine party. So we got some coffee going on. First thing I'll say is I'm going to talk a bit about what I take on tour and what I do on tour. People ask all the time, like, do you take this? Do you take that? Do you need this? Do you need that? And I love it. People are very cool. They ask a lot. Like if you're coming through a town, like, can we bring you something? Can we? And it's awesome. It's really appreciative. It's really appreciated. The old joke would be, you know, hookers and cocaine, man. And nowadays it's, you know, we have everything on the bus. Yeah, we have everything. But, you know, once in a while we run out of something. But one thing I always, I'll start with to carry on tour is, besides as little as possible, is stuff you're going to reuse and save waste. So that's a big thing. So I'll start with that. So I'm going to jump around a bit on that. Robert Hill, hey, how are you, my friend? We'll be in Irvine, California soon. Hope to see you there. Elizabeth, awesome. I just saw a message coming from you. I was just about to do this, so I didn't get to reply yet. Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Touch base with me. I think there's some tickets. Be great to see you. And, you know, let's see here. Wow. Okay. Oh, and I always got to make sure I'm checking YouTube, because a lot of people, a handful of people, only watch on YouTube because they hate the other stuff, which is fair. And okay. Okay. This is where I'm on the road and I have a little less resources to do the background stuff. And I'm also not on a really good microphone. So let me know if the audio is okay. I think someone would have said, but let's go back here. Okay. Great comments coming in already. But yeah, Elizabeth is on here. Elizabeth is one of the people who runs Synthtopia. So, you know, I'm always mixing music and food and travel and tour support and tour production. It's all one big ball of wax, folks. And but one of the things that I do on here a lot is a lot of synthesizer stuff. You know, I'm a synth head for over 40 years. And that's just using them. You know, I remember hearing that sound on a Bob Marley record, like that first record of his has a mode, or the first big record, Natty Dread and So Just Say and all that stuff. There's that womp, 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 womp. Anyway, got to try to focus here. But Elizabeth runs Synthtopia, which if you're a synth head at all, if you're a music head, electronic music head, you got to have Synthtopia on your daily, but certainly on your very regular stops. So check out Synthtopia, just like it sounds, Synth, Topia, a synth utopia. But we met once at the KnobCon, and I forgot this is where you are. So looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. There is one synth in the show, so there's one. No, actually, okay. There's a hardware synth, and there's a little bit of software synth. I'm going to try to not give too many spoilers, but once this tour has already started, so people are discussing set lists and things like that. But the first week or so, we kept everything under wraps, and there's a lot of surprises in the show. But I will say, you will geek out heavily, any of you geeks, including Elizabeth. Bob Gluck says vegan caffeine. Is there any caffeine that's not? Is there an animal that synthesizes caffeine in its pituitary gland or in its liver or something? I'm all ears. Maybe there is. It's just a compound, so maybe some animal creates it. People say I do because I'm on all the time, but yeah, that's a good question. But this is, of course, some. You know what? Again, we're going to keep weaving in products here. Reach into the recycling bin. I am drinking one of my favorite things, and I'm going to talk a bit about how we do this on this tour. And to give a little framework, it's a small crew. There's 5 of us, and Pat Metheny is on stage. He's the only human musician on stage. And so it's a very unique tour as I approach 2 years of working for this incredible artist. It'll be 2 years in about a month. This is the first tour I've done with him that is solo, him performing solo. What a roller coaster ride this 2 years has been, and trying to keep up and catch up and learn. But in that time, there's been 2 different side-eye trios, the jazz trio in Scandinavia, jazz, jazz-centric, but they go all over the place, a jazz-centric quartet in South America and Mexico, and then I lost count, whatever that is, 4, I think. And then there's now this solo tour. So 5 completely different tours. And that's the thing there's so many things that are just staggering to watch, but to watch somebody pivot set lists and repertoire that are different for each one of those things. I mean, the 2 different side-eye trios is actually a lot of overlap, a few different changes there, but all the other ones. So it's been remarkable to be part of this, and I'm deeply honored. And it's kind of a PhD gig for me. Anyone, y'all that know me, I've done a lot of different gigs, and taken my own band on the road for many years, and always learning. I love that every gig there's a lesson, but this gig, wow, it's really PhD. It's a lot of work, a lot of homework, a lot of where are my glasses? A lot of going like this. RTFM, right? Not Rage Against the Machine. Read the fucking manual. But so that's kind of some overview. But I will say also, with a small crew, 5 of us, it's really great and easy to keep everyone happy, for the tour manager and for other people working in hospitality. And everyone's well known because they're talked about on stage. One person that's on this tour and doing incredible work as the hospitality assistant and mainly the merchandise person, and Pat introduces him every night, is my dear friend and colleague, Jeff Metheny. And you'll meet him if you come to a show. As Pat points out, 6'5", in his early 20s. I forget. I think he's 22. Sorry, Jeff, if I got your age wrong. 20, 22. But he's selling merch, taking care of the merch, ordering the merch, inventorying, doing all the business side of that. And but also with hospitality and helping our wonderful tour manager, a guy named John Nave, helping to make it all happen. What people don't realize is we have very little time. We can't go shopping other than a day like this. We can't run over for a coffee a block away. Again, once in a while, you do have a little time, but you can't do a lot of stuff. So things are there for you, backstage or on the bus. So that's a big part of answering some questions people ask. Well, how do you do this? How do you do that? So caffeine, I want to talk about and say, I now endorse Kirkland cold brew. I love cold brew. I love hot coffee too, and I love tea. I drink a lot of tea, a lot of green tea on this tour for me, a lot of kombucha and ginger lemon tea, all kinds of stuff. But this coffee is great, and I'm new to Costco, folks. I knew nothing about Costco except just driving past it for 15 years where I live in Asheville. I see one. I never went, just never needed to, and didn't think about it. But just recently hearing how cool Costco is, and I'm always on a budget. So learning that, wow, how much is it? So I'm going to check it out. And I just read some stuff by the great Bob Lefsetz. I think he's great. Amazing music writer. The Lefsetz Letter, if you don't know it, writes about music and music biz and a lot of the hard numbers of this crazy industry we're in, touring and management and streaming and new artist platforms. And he writes about all this stuff, but he also writes about random shit like skiing trips and Costco. So he's been writing about them. So that's the first thing I'll say, is that I've discovered some really cool Costco products on this tour. And the cold brew coffee is great. It's simple. It's just Colombian coffee. What are the 225 milligrams of caffeine? I think that's like a cup and a half or something, right? I don't know. Isn't a cup like 180 or something like that? Regardless, almost a cup and a half. Good coffee, and also their kombucha. So again, another item that I really love on tour is making sure you get food that's good for digestion, a lot of fermented foods. And there's a long list of them, and I'll talk about a few of them today. But kombucha, how amazing to see this become kind of a mainstream product. I mean, almost, right? I mean, there's a supermarket near us that has an end cap refrigerator with kombucha in it. I'm blown away. They have a house brand. They have, what's it, GS? Is that the brand, the big brand? So we have this on the bus too. And, we get this stuff on our rider, which is the list of things you ask the local promoter to provide. And I just love that everyone loves the kombucha. Now, when I'm talking about everything here, I will say Pat's really healthy and eats a very healthy diet, but we don't eat with Pat. Pat for years has been known to really kind of fast during the day. I think he has like a light lunch and then fasts. I remember reading about this decades ago, and eats later on after the show. And what's great about that, and I've done that sometimes on tour, is you just feel clear and light, and you're fasting, And but I've had some great dinners with Pat. We go out once in a while as a group, all of us, and we have a lot of apple cider vinegar around, and healthy stuff like that. They brought us some juices from a juice bar yesterday. So we have some really great stuff in the fridge in the back. But I held this up, but it's not the Costco brand. This is some other brand that's really nice. But Costco, believe it or not, has an organic kombucha. So I'm excited to go in and check that out. I'm always looking for ways to work a budgetary thing into a healthy lifestyle. All right, so that's a little bit on just kind of some framework and jumping around a little bit, talking about a couple of specific products. Let me make sure I'm catching up with comments and questions. Which YouTube is the one that's open? Oh, here we go. All right. And I'm running on Twitch. Also, look at that. We have Gnick Garad on, on Twitch. What's up, Scott? The echo is gone and I'm frozen. Okay. Oh, that was before. Thank you. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Andre Chumley. This is Meatless Monday Meetup. And I do this. I used to do this every single week, but kind of irregularly now, because I'm always on the road. Here's the logo. Let's do a what do you call those? Just I need it on a card. But I do this. It's a fun thing, and it's for everybody. No matter what your diet is, what you consume, this is a real welcoming discussion, and I welcome questions, critiques, suggestions, whatever. And it's for everyone. Again, it's in the title. My goal is if we could just get more people one day a week to say no to flesh foods, just one day a week. That's awesome. I mean, seriously. And then for some of you, if you want to go from there and make it 3 days a week, then that's great. That's you. But one day a week, and it's a way to talk about the environmental issues, how natural food is blowing up, not only across the USA, but internationally. And I love going out and documenting that. And also how meatless meals, and also other meals that look at people's dietary requests. You know, you see gluten-free stuff, you see dairy-free stuff, you see nut-free foods. And, when in any kind of a restaurant now, not any kind, but you know what I mean, more and more restaurants. And it's really an incredible time that you very easily can be very satisfied and fine-tune your requests out there. All right, so back to your great comments. Thank you, Todd. Yes, really happy to see me doing this. Well, thank you, sir. Good to see you here. Let's catch up. Bob hates the other stuff. Caffeine or that's the thing. I get out of sync with the comments. Indeed, Todd, Synthtopia, yay. Yeah, you should friend Elizabeth if you're not already. She's great. Bob says about the caffeine. My question is more about who makes and profits. Yeah, well, there we go. Oh yeah, once we get into the politics of food, which I love. Wow, what a slippery slope and a difficult area. And I'll cut right to the chase. Unless we're growing it in our own backyards, then it's like game on, right? Everything we buy, it's owned by this person or that person, or there's labor issues, and everyone knows, but I'll say it again. I do seek to buy stuff that's fair trade as much as I can. When I see that, I will pay a little extra for the better product, or sometimes quite a bit extra. I will seek organic, because organic farmers, while there's massive corporations, of course, that own organic farms, the actual farmers are doing something consciously at a lower profit margin to make a difference. I've met and known many organic farmers going back to the late 80s, and never met one that's just, kind of doing it because it's the hip thing, or they're going to make a lot of money, because they don't, unless, it becomes a giant conglomerate. But so it's looking for those kind of products, looking for products that, of course, are animal free. That's, of course, one of my driving forces is plant-based life. And that also ties into the environmental impact. Plant-based products also use packaging and shipping and plastic. Someone's usually always eager to say that. Of course they do. But that part of the production and packaging and transport cancels out, because all products are using that. So you go to the next level, which is, are the materials sustainable, reusable, recyclable? And plant-based materials are ultimately going to win on that, and going to be easier to grow crops on an industrial scale and do it in a crop rotation way, in a way that works in harmony with the available water, the type of land and soil. So that kind of, discussion I think most people have had. It's a long discussion, but encapsulating very quickly there. But eating more locally, growing some of your own food, as you know, I talk about all the time. We've got to do that in the US, in the Western world especially, but especially the US. We've got to kind of not have California grow all our food and we drive it around in trucks. Like, that is crazy. California and a couple other big states. So jumping around on topics here, let's come back though to just this tour and what I do, and we're going to focus on that because we could jump all around. But give me your questions, give me your thoughts, and if you have questions specifically about touring, staying healthy on tour, how do I find healthy food on tour? What is it like? What do we do? Where do we eat? Those kind of things. If you want to focus me in on that kind of stuff, I'd love to talk about it because we're here on tour. Okay. Getting back to your questions. Great question though, Bob. And please send me that article. Todd saw me do the PhD gig. Yeah, man. And you saw with some issues, like I had just one or two technical issues, which look, in hindsight, it's like stuff you wouldn't even notice at any other gig, but the bar is so high with this gig, which I love. It's a challenge every night. James Farrelly, how are you? Tuning in. Would love to see the new stuff Pat's doing. Should he come to England? It's been worked on. I'm always lobbying for more England. We did London last year, and I'm like, how are we going to go all the way to that island and not, cruise around? It's that much more curry to eat. But hope we come to England and really do it right next time. We're up closer to Ipswich in London. You know who lives in Ipswich? Want to tell you. So Pat, an interview about the music of Keith Jarrett. Yeah. So wonderful to see him. Honor, spelt wrong if you live in England. A fellow master. No, who lives in Ipswich? It sounds familiar, but I don't know. So many amazing English musicians. Sounds familiar. I'm sure when you tell me, I'll go, oh, all right. Mark Wolf Lorano, how are you, my dear brother? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by the show. Mark Lorano, some of you may know because I mention it every time, had an amazing vegetarian restaurant called Grazers in Highland Park, New Jersey in the mid-'80s. Can you believe that shit, Mark? That's 40 years, bro. 40 years. I was one, and I came into his... no, I'm 58 now. So I was 19 or something, 18, 19. And college student, had just went vegetarian. And I was like, oh my God, a complete vegetarian restaurant. Grazers, as in cows grazing and animals grazing. But amazing, wonderful restaurant and a friendship that is so important and dear to me and endures to this day, and learned so much from Mark about vegetarianism, natural food, all these things. So great to see you here, Mark. Also, Wallman, how are you? Hello from Asheville. Okay, great. And Bob has sent the article. So folks, the link is in, is the link in the discussion? Drop the link in the chat, Bob. And then we'll jump to miso soup. Thanks for pulling into focus. Because we could talk for 3 hours about chocolate and chocolate politics and child labor in various parts of Africa and Asia and Central America, South America. Yeah, I'm at the point I don't eat that much chocolate. I'm funny with sweets and sweet tooth stuff. Just don't have it for ages. And then I'll say, oh man, let's get a pint of ice cream, but very, very rare. I'm just not exercising much right now. So I've got my, 25 COVID beer drinking pounds that I'm working on. But fortunately, yeah, not a huge sweet tooth that, here and there. But we get some really good chocolate actually backstage. It's usually dark chocolate. It's often free trade, fair trade, and organic, and small farms. It's great to have that focus from our tour manager who looks for those kind of products, and so we often see that. But yes, the chocolate thing is a political important topic, a social important topic. So all right, well, I'm going to experiment with sharing some pictures here. How do I do this? And then we'll talk about miso. Let's see. All right. If I go here and I want to share photos, let's see how that works. Let me just some random shots of this tour. And I'll include the miso discussion. All right, let's do this. A couple nice food pictures. All right, I can't go too crazy because then it takes forever to connect them. So let's try this. If this works, we'll see some pictures in a minute. But the miso question, yeah, I get a lot of questions on that. I actually have a miso Pelican. It's actually the cheaper imitation Pelican from Harbor Freight. But you know, if you don't know what a Pelican is, you'll see one in a minute. Here we go. Pelican is like a case, you know, a little. This is modeled after the Pelican 1510, which geeks will know is the size for a carry-on. That's the FAA approved, or whoever approves that stuff. That's the size for fitting it onto a plane, overhead, sorry, into carry-on or under the seat. These actually fit under the seat. So that's pretty cool. So, oops, let me turn the audio off there. So there you have it. And these are like $99 at Harbor Freight. And they are waterproof, I think, or watertight and lockable. Really cool little cases. Then we use them for gear and cameras and any kind of delicate gear because they're really bulletproof. I mean, not literally, but they're really protective. And you have these foam linings that you can protect your equipment. So I have repurposed one, and that's what it looks like inside. I'll show you how it looks like now. This was a couple weeks ago. But kind of from left to right, you see some ginger paste. You see my thermos where we actually make the miso, some gochujang, hot Korean pepper paste. Up top, there's a couple emergency ramens. So if I'm really in a hurry and I don't want to, or I don't have the time to make the soup from scratch, I can really quickly make some ramen soup. Literally, I can get ramen soup going in as long as it takes the water to boil, actually. And if you're boiling like a liter of water, oh my God, it's not much more than a minute and a half. So that's what it's about too, expedience and lack of time. Anyway, what else do we have there? So there's the thermos, which is crucial to do this on the road. And then there's some of the nori I have. I have a few types of nori. And then the kettle. You got to have a nice kettle. And that's a nice stainless steel kettle. That's the thing again. Oh, yeah. I carry all kinds of things to go in miso or other soup. Of course, you got to have some ginger. I often have fresh ginger, but I get the pickled ginger. I get the minced ginger. I have ginger paste, whatever form, you know, kind of as you shop, you find different, you know, versions. So any kind of ginger. All right. I'm going to come back to food, but that's the stage, folks. That's what the stage looks like. And now that the tour is on, we can kind of blow the whistle on that. But if you haven't seen it, close your eyes. This is some random notes of mine. This has since been typed up into a really nice spreadsheet. But this is kind of what my world looks like, a typical kind of set list. The early set list is very early in the tour. And again, this is a brand new tour where Pat is putting this together from scratch. And this is some stuff in my daily checklist, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this photo I thought is always fun to throw up. This is meeting Pat in about 1999 or something. Is that a bottle of kombucha? Anyway, met Pat a couple times, but this time someone had a camera, which, we didn't all have cameras hanging around before cell phones. There always was someone with a camera, of course, like a real camera, but really awesome and precious picture. Always was one of my favorite pictures, actually, all through the years, because it was so rare to meet Pat and chat. So he's been great. I showed him this picture after a long tour for the first time, and he just cracked up, and he very graciously agreed to kind of reenact it. So I'll pull that up sometime. But he's a blast. He's very funny, and he said, "Yeah, let's do this." And so we kind of got in this almost exact orientation and pretended we were talking for the picture. So fun stuff. I obviously have a Imaginary Day t-shirt on, so it's something like 90, 99 or 2000. Some hotel room typicality, is that a word? But this was his nylon baritone, which is a really beautiful guitar, and a strange one. You don't usually have a nylon baritone because the string tensions are wacky for that. But he, with his incredible luthier, Linda Manzer, who's up in Toronto and has made at least 25 guitars for Pat, he worked out a nylon baritone. And he also worked with this string company that we're working with now from Argentina, that's specifically our kind of nylon and classical / nylon guitar source right now. Very interesting guitar. Anyway, we did a unique string gauge setup, and those of you who work with guitars know that nylon strings, classical guitars, take a little bit more time. I can change a typical guitar in just a couple minutes, especially with a power winder and everything sitting there. But a little bit more time and finesse for nylon. There's a little close up. And okay, so over to some food, and we're going to be random here, folks. That's a typical awesome salad that I can make right on the bus. So we have some greens, salad greens, and there's some arugula in there. And we were near a farm market. Our tour manager bought those pickled Brussels sprouts, horseradish pickles, which you can see the cucumber pickles, some pickled garlic on the side there, some avocado, and some banana peppers. Wow, that was a great salad. Salads I've known and loved. That was a good one. In the background, typical in my hotel room, some apples, some garlic, some hot sauce. I've got some of the amazing Trader Joe pepper grinder, ghost pepper in the middle there, and some incredible German mustard. Some of the best mustard on earth is from Germany, and Coleman's from England. So that's pretty typical. And I just got that clenching and grinding thing. Does anyone grind their teeth at night? My dentist says I grind my teeth. Holy shit. Something else to worry about. There's enough to worry about while I'm awake. Anyway, I said, you know what, let me get one of these stupid things. And so I haven't tried it out yet, but another tour staple, because it's available everywhere. You can get this baked tofu or similar at Trader Joe's. They got 2 or 3 great flavors, great protein, great on all the other specs. I think, one of the ancient staples. I mean, if you don't know tofu, wow. I mean, everyone's had tofu, I think. Although on this tour, we had a woman in catering, I watched her try tofu for the first time in her life, and she loved it. She tried a piece of this actually. She had, yeah. She had some friends who told her it was horrible, and so she never wanted to try it for ages. And we talked about that, and we talked about the dilemma of listening to other people. And she said, "Yeah, that's true. I've never had it myself." So she had a piece of this and loved it. It was amazing to watch. She really loved it. And then the next day, because we were there 2 days, she was preparing food for us, and she prepared tofu for the first time in her life. She just looked online, got this recipe. Very simple, very simple. She just kind of, you know, mashed up some tofu and had some soy sauce and ginger and spices on it and stir fried it a little bit. But that was incredible to see someone's life change in a tiny way, but possibly significant way in front of my eyes. Sure, not everyone likes tofu, but most people do. Most people I know that try it, if it's beautifully prepared and spiced, they love it. I also tell people, if you love Chinese food of any type, the Chinese restaurants, many of them, put tofu in all kinds of stuff. You will see tofu in a pork dish. You will see tofu in a chicken soup or a chicken lo mein or different things like that. So tofu is just kind of in there, like the carrots, like the scallions, like the, other vegetables might be. So it's a very interesting thing. And certainly in any Chinese restaurant, you can ask them to do just about every dish with tofu. So I love that on the top level mainstream situation like Trader Joe's, as well as Walmart or Target, or most supermarket chains you go into have some either Nasoya or a house brand or something. And I can't say enough about how key it is to just have a couple of these in the fridge at home. They're great in a quick meal. I mean, you could just have half of this package as is. I should have the nutrition in front of us too, but some other time. But tofu is a little less protein than tempeh. I think we're talking 8 or 10 grams a serving or something like that. Anyway, crush it up, throw it in a salad, throw it in a veggie stir fry, whatever. Very versatile and ready to go. That's what's great, again, on the road. Jumping back to music. This is a stage plot of what we have going on stage. And you can see, very two-dimensional kind of quick little software version of the stage. More gear. For those of you in production, I picked up the wrong photo loop here. That's getting into gear. I'm going to come back to food in a second. But I'm telling you, if you are a working musician and you do things with electricity, Google these items. Holy shit. This company, man, and these boxes eliminate just about every hum and buzz that we've encountered, and which is not every day by a long shot, but when you do, either this or the Electro-Harmonix hum debugger, we get rid of all hums and buzzes, and the bar is set super high on these tours to have silence on stage. Anyway, all right, so jump back to some food. I had some tech stuff mixed in there. So let's jump over to some questions. Joachim, how are you, my friend? Hello from Sweden, Joachim says. Hello, my buddy. Good to see you, bro. Joachim, if you're still there, I appreciate you, bro, for so many things, being this incredible team member for Metheny Europe. Joachim Rushdahl, folks, he's a friend, a colleague, but I met him as one of the truck drivers on the 2022 European tour. We started in Brno in the Czech Republic, Brno. And him and John were the truck drivers. But we went on to do a bunch of tours with Joachim, and again, to piggyback on my story that I just said. And why do we use that comment? Why does riding on the back of a pig, a sentient, innocent animal, why do we have to ride on the back of a pig when we're, superimposing one idea on another one to carry it into consciousness? Think about that. That's the thing, right? Animal dominance is baked into our language. Anyway, semi kidding there, but also not. But anyway, continuing on that idea, Joachim is somebody who on tour every day, there we are in the catering, and the catering, what I love about the way we do it is everyone can be happy. So there's a fish dish, there's a chicken dish, often there's or the other way around, there's almost always chicken, but often fish, especially in Europe. Sometimes there's a beef dish, once in a while a pork dish. But I think across the board, pork's the one where even a lot of meat eaters don't all eat pork. So it pops up, but not as much as chicken and other things, sometimes cold cuts. So you have all that, but then there's also always a big salad. There's always pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, things like that. There's always some sort of vegan protein, often tofu, sometimes seitan, which is wheat gluten, sometimes tempeh, which I love and is my favorite in that group. Often some sort of beans, baked beans, white beans, red beans, lentils. I love when they have lentils on there. Sometimes a veggie burger or vegan sausages and things like that. So it varies. So everyone can have something. There's almost always a soup, and we do the soup vegan. That way everyone can have it. And if they want to add some cheese or some butter, someone did one time, that's great, whatever you want to do. But the base of it, you start with something everyone can eat, because there's someone who's gluten-free, there's someone who's allergic to peanuts. So there's there's ways to do things so that all the questions are answered, and those who want to spice it up, if they'd like that, or add bits of the chicken to the lentil soup. So to me, that's the right way to do catering. It's very disappointing when you go somewhere and it's catering and everything has cheese in it. It's like, you're like, what is this person thinking? There's cheese in the salad, cheese in the wild rice vegetable thing. There's cheese already on the bread or something. Even people who eat cheese don't want it in every dish, right? And even people who are not vegan or vegetarian are often saying, yeah, I'd rather have my salad with that, or add as much as I want. So that's always a thing too that is funny. And we have that nailed. Our catering is great, where everything's separate. Someone doesn't like onions, same thing. It's not already in the salad. You do your own thing. There's people that don't like bell peppers, sweet peppers. So put it on the side. Let's make our own. So these are all things too. If you work in an office, or you work in an academic setting, or you're going on tour, things to think about as you put together situations to feed lots of people. The more modular it can be, the better. So finishing that point though, Joachim, one of the things that's awesome is that he would try the vegetarian stuff. And it was awesome seeing him over the months trying hummus for the first time, trying tofu, trying some of these things and loving it. So, and saying, you know what? I'm getting to be in my 40s soon. I'm trying to stay healthier. That was good, what I had, and I never had it before. I'm going to add that in, whether it was the eggplant, lasagna or whatever it might be. So thank you, Joachim, for being one of those people that, and there's so many that give me the faith that, we all can keep learning stuff and adding different things to our palate. Also is saying the place in Canton has army supplied pelicans. Oh, I think I saw that. It's right on the highway, right? Anyway, send me that, because I need some road case type stuff pretty soon. And we love used, we love Army, Navy, and we love pawn shops and Goodwill. So Christopher Lowry says the food looks yummy. Oh, thanks, man. And there's a bunch more coming up. Scott, solo show, but it shouldn't say spot. There's Leslie. Yeah, well, can't solo people use a Leslie? Yes, he has a Leslie that he puts the guitar through. That's an old thing. I'm sure you know. It's that smaller Leslie, you know, the ones that are about 3 feet high. Oh, Leslie, and the one that guitarists use, I think that guy, that guitarist who they used to refer to as God in the 60s, who has turned out to be, you know, just, well, you know, I'm not even going to go down that road of like vax denier and all that stuff. But I'll go down the road of unapologetic racist. That's the thing that sticks in my craw about that guy whose initials are EC, who really, outside of Cream, never excited me too much as a guitarist. And Cream is about Jack Bruce being a badass motherfucker, and Ginger. And there's some good moments that Eric's doing, but nothing too far out of the pentatonic, you know, noodly masturbation box. But the racist shit, the anti, you know, the England first stuff that he was very into, and warning, big detraction here for 60 seconds. But it's all connected because it's all about compassion. It's all about accessing compassion, accessing how we can change ourselves on a daily basis, how we can access kindness, how we can access the tiny bit we can change the world, whether that's being kinder to animals by not capturing, abusing, torturing, poisoning, drugging them, and then ultimately slitting their throats or shooting an 8-inch bolt into their skulls. So there's a bunch of ways you can exercise compassion, and one of them is fighting racism of all forms, from all people, because all people of all colors have exercised their racism. But in this case, so it is all connected. Yeah, Clapton's, you know, unapologetic England first, anti-immigrant stuff, saying stuff on stage, anti-Pakistani rhetoric and anti-immigrant rhetoric, and kind of that keep England white poison, which is still happening, but in the early 70s it was particularly virulent with all this stuff happening in the streets. And then he just said some stuff a few times and never apologized about it. He would be asked once in a while. So problems with that guy. I'm not even getting into the current ones. All right, detraction over. We're back to this. But again, it's all connected. It's all connected. But anyway, my point there was, I think he used the Leslie and got a cool sound with it. I could be, you know, maybe on Badge or something. And many other people used the Leslie for guitar. Maybe did one of the Allmans. I mean, obviously Allmans used it for the Hammond organ, but I thought they had it on guitar too. But that's what it is. He's got something called the Game Changer sustain pedal, which is amazing. And it is a game changer. It is, it's this pedal that looks like a piano sustain pedal, actually. And it's quite remarkable because you can kind of set it up and set the attack and the decay of the sound, and anything you put through it, it's got a 1/4 inch in and out, anything you put through it will sustain. So it's really an amazing pedal, and Pat loves that, and we use a few of those. But the sustain pedal also through the Leslie, wow, what a sound. And you could have been there last night. I know you were really busy, bro. But anyway, that's what we got going on there. Let me see if I can pull up a pic. picture. Oh yeah, did I use the wrong name? Did I use the wrong name, didn't I? It's not a sustain pedal. It's as you just said. Oh, okay. I'm gonna do this. Oh, maybe I can. Anyway, I was trying to show a picture. I'll put a link up. Yes, thank you, Todd. The correct name is the Plus. So it is not called the sustain pedal. We call it that. But there it is. There's a link in the chat, Scott. Amazing. So that answers that. Christopher says, ho ho hum. I found an inline project. Hum ho hum. Eliminate the hum from my spark bar at 4 a.m. Yeah, send me a link to that. I love learning about anything that gets rid of hum and buzz and stuff. But I've never seen anything do it as well as the EPTech. Holy crap, that thing, even like overseas. Kurt Douglas Hampstead, what's up, my bro? Good to see you too. Oh, I missed your joke about Leslie. Jeez, I'm just slow today. More caffeine, please. Stat. Mary Amadeo Wallace, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, Todd, you're mentioning, yes, I was just going to say that if I was successful sharing the website, but I just don't have my shit set up like I do at home. But Game Changer is from Latvia, which I believe also Erica Synths is also there, and they do some stuff together. But I'll stop there, or I'll go down a big rabbit hole of comedy and synthesizers. Okay, let's get back to Miso, and let's see if we can do this now. We're gonna go to the Pelican and talk a little bit about miso. I'm not quite set up to make a miso soup live on the air, but let's see. Where's the camera? Okay, good. So, okay, here we go. If I share the screen. Let's try that. I'm doing some stuff I've never done, folks. So, let's see what happens. See if this will work from my sharing screen. No, I don't want audio. Oh, what a pain in my ass. What a pain in my ass you are. Okay. Okay. All right, I think I did this wrong. Oh, I don't want to share screen. I just want to pin this, actually. Sorry, folks. Just okay, great. All right, that's a lot better. Let's see if I get rid of this pin. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So we got great, and I think you can still hear me. All right, let's do a little test. And I need to go back to your chat. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Someone let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, they are. I know they're good friends, right? I've been in touch with the Game Changer guy, and he said, yeah. And of course, they work together. They do those weird plasma pedals and shit, the modules with them. Scott, yes, road fatigue. Maybe comedy fatigue, but yeah, road fatigue is funny because if you can just keep plugging in and recharging, just like your phone and your devices. That's why it's brutally crucial to go the fuck to sleep. As Samuel L. Jackson would say, you got to go to sleep after the show. The killer on tour is trying to hang out and party every night, which some crew members do. Not in this crew, but I've seen it. But so it's about being really fatigued and then having that hot shower and go the fuck to sleep. You really understand how crucial rest is. And then once a week or something, twice a week, if we're lucky, you have a mostly day off like we do today. And I will be sleeping real soon after this. All right, cool. You can hear me. Okay. Oh, great. 3 p.m. call. All right, Elizabeth. Yes, we'll see you at the gig. Yeah, please send me a text. Let me know what's up. That's right. I know you saw Wooten last night. Okay. For some reason, my main let me see how I can make this the main picture, folks. I don't need audio. Let's see. All right, this is frustrating because looks like I'm still broadcasting the main. Not to mention Tommy. I told you not to mention Tommy. Tommy, can you hear me yet? Oh, let's see. If I kill my camera, see if that works. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, is that working? No. Sorry, folks. Give me a second here. I just want to see why. I know you can hear me. Let's see. Doing some tech that I've never done before here. Yeah, what a pain in my ass. It's just insisting that I turn on audio, and I don't want to connect audio. Or maybe that'll do it. And maybe that's all it needs. All right, I'm about to give up. Let's see. Let's pin that. No, I've done this before. Actually, I'm trusting Facebook. I really should see if it's working on YouTube. All right, well, let's just bring me back on camera and live with that. Escape this one. Popcorn break. um, yeah, very strange. I usually my entire Zoom screen exists for you guys too, and let's try it as a yeah. That's a shame. Peter Singer, how are you, my friend? Well, you know what I'll do? I'll just pick up my computer and just use that. That's why there's these tiny computers exist. Peter Singer, author of oh good, there we go. Author of um Animal Liberation. Oh, it's finally working, I think. Uh is it? Do you see two images? I don't know Johnny Bean. No. Let's see. Do you see two images now? Oh, great, awesome. So it's working. Great, we're back on track. Let's see. Please no more killings. I'm not sure what that referred to, but I probably said that. Yes, that's funny. Learning is a good thing. Yes. I don't know Johnny Bean, and trusting Facebook is going on a limb. Her. I had to get something in about, the conspiracy. Yeah, Facebook is just a tool, and I like using it. It's free, so what can I expect? Okay, yeah, streaming. Yes, I am streaming on 3 platforms right now. I'm streaming on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Actually, 4 platforms. So yeah, that's pretty easy to do. What's not easy is to not have the cameras set up in a hotel room because I'm not ready. Richard Dean Wilson, hey man, yeah man, let's get back in touch. It's been ages. Anyway, great. I got my pictures, and I think you'll be able to pick up my loud voice across the way here. So let's see if I can get this. Get it to be just this one. Down camera on this. So there we have my pelican. And it's just weird seeing the perspective. Oh, part of it is too, you can't do a spotlight with only all right, I think I can fix this. Anyway, you can see the pelican now. That's what it's about. And so here we have it. And I'm going to pop this open. See, look, very light. And you can, let's see. There we go. And let's take some step back because I'm going to make some soup. So I got a little towel in there, a nice, fantastic Japanese style bowl, which contains in there my miso. And I happen to have the amazing, the amazing miso master miso, which is from Asheville, actually. I interviewed these folks on an earlier episode of Meatless Monday, ages ago. And I hope to again. So we got some miso. As I showed before, once in a while I'm in a hurry and I just want to throw together a quick ramen soup. Very simple and easy. Those are some good ones with rice-based noodles, which I prefer. You've got to cook, you've got to heat some water up. So I get a kettle here, and that's everything's form fitted into a nice foam background, protected by foam on the top. Nice couple inches of foam. But here's a nice high quality stainless steel kettle. So I'm gonna take that out, set it over here. Here's my messy desk. Trying to do this unprepared, but there we have part one. And again, looking at our perspectives there, I got a lot of extra crap stuck in here that I wouldn't normally have, like the mustard. I was just getting off the bus and I said, well, let me put it in there. Wow, this is amazing mustard if you're a mustard fan. Low in scent from Germany. See, I'm about to improve the picture here. So again, all this stuff fits in here. And again, some of the extra stuff that I wouldn't normally have. This is some spice mix from Trader Joe. Green Goddess. It's really nice, just a bunch of herbs and stuff. And then this one's from Trader Joe. This is their incredible. I'm really surprised they have something this high up on the Scovilles. Is the Trader Joe smoked ghost chilies. Wow. If you're a fan of hot chilies as I am, that's really a cool thing from Trader Joe. Let's see. Let's Jeremy, sorry, let me see about this. Right. Bear with me, folks, and you have been bearing with me wonderfully. All right, I believe we are the main shot here. So continuing on, I think you can still hear my voice. I love mushrooms. Now we have the basics of the miso soup. The miso, the bowl, And I love mushrooms. I just got these gifted to me, some criminy mushrooms. That'll be good. Folks, you want stuff that doesn't have to be refrigerated, so dried mushrooms. Miso technically does not have to be refrigerated. It's nice if it is, but it's a fermented live food, so it's kind of just going to ferment a little bit more in heat, maybe, but it's pretty temperate right now. I'm wondering in deep summer, I've had it and it stays well. It's got a fair amount of salt in it, so it's preserving in that way. Can everyone hear me okay? I just want to make sure because I'm now quite a bit away from the camera. Let me know if you can hear me. So mushrooms, one type. Here's some seaweed. I usually have a few types of seaweed. There's some wakame. There's my minced ginger I mentioned before. And again, ginger in any form. Do I prefer the red or white miso? I love them all. You know, I like to vary the miso, and miso is like wine in so many ways. It's a fermented food. So like wine or vinegar or sauerkraut or kimchi, so many wonderful human fermented foods, beer, wine. I think I said wine. Just like any of those, you have seasonal differences, you have flavor differences, you have regional differences. Really beautiful. So miso, I've never met a miso I don't like. So I like the red, the white, the chickpea miso. There's miso with brown rice in it. There's miso with other grains, quinoa. It's kind of infinite. Like cheese is another fermented food, which yeah, I think cheese is an excellent food when you get good raw milk, organic kind of artist-made cheese. And as you know, I always make that distinction between the crap that you're getting at a deli or most delis or you know, American cheese product or any of that. It's a big difference. But a good, fine, raw, unpasteurized organic cheese is going to have cultures in it. It's going to have things like that. But the variety is my point, that you go to different regions of cheese making countries and right, it's different just 5 miles away. Same thing with miso. So great question, Sharon, and I love all kinds of miso. Again, this company, this company here, Miso Master, is excellent. They're in Asheville, North Carolina, and I interviewed them, and they showed the miso making process. It was great in the interview. Okay, what else I have? I got some cilantro because I love a little cilantro in soup, so that's been cool. Okay, so let's open this box, and that takes up the middle space. Notice underneath what I've got some more meat. So this is the some more nori. This is the stuff you can snack on right away. And this usually comes in a little plastic tray. Yeah, it's a plastic bag. I think it actually was a biodegradable on this one. I can't remember. I did get one the other day that was. But what they've done, if you like that ready to eat seaweed, you know it usually comes in an annoying plastic tray. They got rid of the tray, so it's just about a half dozen little slices of nori that you can snack on. So I like that. Underneath, I have a bamboo cutting board because you got to cut your veggies. And underneath that, I have even more supply of nori because you know you need for my nori. So this box, again, I've customized it to fit my stuff, and how beautifully it all goes back in there. See that? And we're done. But so let's talk about what's in here. Again, this is my mobile kitchen for miso. And what do I have? I've got the gochujang, which is a Korean chili pepper paste. Many of you would know that. Good stuff. Don't use this as toothpaste if you're groggy in the morning. And this is this Trader Joe? I can't remember. No, some health food store. Some ginger paste, which again, I like ginger fresh. I get it in the bottles, gotta have some sesame oil. And I love the Japanese, very high quality one. Very nice sesame oil. Little, couple bucks more, but not really. Oh, is that little oil leaking? Jeez. All right, and then what else do we have? Some dried mushrooms. I remember having a bag of mushrooms that I was hiding from the cops, back in the day. Now I cook them. Mushrooms. These are wood ear and maybe hen of the wood mushroom, something like that. Some fresh garlic that I refill from time to time. Oh, Thai red curry paste. Put a little bit of that in the soup sometimes. Some fresh garlic. And a nice sharp knife with a protective situation. All of that fits in there. And then finally, where it all happens, my thermos. Just a regular thermos. And the way it works, folks, is open that up, put the miso in there, like 2 tablespoons about, chop up some scallion, and I have a bit of carrot. I have a bit of carrot and scallion in the fridge that I'm not showing. Put that in there, maybe a few bits of dried mushroom, if you like. You want it to be garlicky that day, a little garlic, certainly some ginger, tear up some nori, all in the thermos while the water is boiling. Yeah, just under a minute, you get all that stuff in the thermos, pour the boiling water into the thermos and close it tight, and walk away. And the longer you wait, the more delicious the soup will be. But in 5 minutes, you will have incredible miso soup. And if you let it sit for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, wow, really steeps and even more. So that's it. That's the whole thing. And again, you saw at the beginning, this is just a carry-on case that just shuts. And all I need to make amazing soup is power to power the kettle and water to boil. Both of which, of course, you could, even in a pinch, if I had no electricity, many ways to boil water. But there you have it. The little miso traveling circus. All right, so let's see about bringing me back. Bum, 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 bum. I think I'm back. Okay, cool. Is questions? Oh, you eat that miso a couple times a week. That's great. Yeah, they're from Asheville. I think you know that. I've been using Asheville, that brand for years, many other brands, but really loved when coming to Asheville and going, oh, wow, this stuff's local. And then reaching out to them about a year and a half ago. Geez, what year is it? And kind of thirsty. How about a little kombucha? Interviewing them, which I should figure out a way to do past highlights. Anyway, I'm gonna move on from that topic, but a lot of people have asked about the miso container. Hit me with your questions. Who's on YouTube? James Farley says Brian Eno is in Ipswich. Oh, that'd be a cool duo, Pat and Eno. I love it. That was a platform jump, James. You asked the question on YouTube. That was on Facebook. That's funny. Yes, Christopher. It's very self-preserved. The salt in there alone is preserving of it, and also just the very nature of it being a fermented food, like wine or sauerkraut or cheese. You have some life to it. Yeah, using it as a sauce. You can make miso sauces, absolutely. A little miso with tahini, with a little olive oil or sesame oil, a little miso with ume plum vinegar and whipped with avocado. I mean, you can, the sky's the limit, but miso as a component of many sauces and pastes is incredible. Is it what you call it? Is it refrigerated? No, it's not. But again, nothing in there needs to be refrigerated. Even the miso. I mean, it says on there, keep refrigerated, but that would let it last for months and months, years, actually. I've traveled a lot with miso, and there's not a problem. Hi, Johnny Bean. Okay, I didn't know Johnny Bean, but he is tagged here. And okay, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check out his content. But yeah, I use Restream, and I could stream on probably no limit, 20 different platforms if I would bother to be part of that many. But yeah, I love Restream. Very easy to set up. That's what we're on right now, and it lets me stream simultaneously on 4 or 5 platforms. So it's great. Hi, Johnny Bean. We'll check out your content. The tech part I've got, but I'll see what your content is about. Yes, that was a cool episode. Miso Master. Yeah, I've used their miso. I don't know. I wouldn't say mid 80s, but late 80s, 80, 89, 90 or something. So cool stuff. Okay, cool. I'm gonna wrap up pretty soon, but just kind of want to say a couple other things about how easy it is out here. 3 of the mainstream places I want to mention and give props. And again, people might be like, but that's a big company. I don't care. The point is, when big companies make a choice, the impact is that much greater. I love going into small places, mom and pop places, but there needs to be more criteria. There's mom and pop places that want to exclude certain people from shopping there. So the fact that they're mom and pop doesn't mean anything. There's mom and pop places that sell very low quality food. So the fact that it's mom and pop isn't the only thing. We tend to say that like it's some magic powder to sprinkle on things. On the other hand, one of the strange dilemmas of a large corporation is they're under that much more scrutiny, that much more pressure. And we've seen in the last few years the social pressure, the social media pressure, the fact that 2 tweets can get you boycotted. We've seen Starbucks respond, for instance, with better wages and doing these sensitivity meetings around racism, around sexism, around all kinds of issues that have popped up that they've been tweeted about coffee, the politics of coffee and fair trade. But largely, employee pay, they've responded quite a bit to that. I'm not a Starbucks, I stop in a Starbucks. I'll go once in a while, but I'm not, like cheerleading for it. But I'm making a factual observation, though, that they've responded, whereas smaller places don't necessarily have that pressure sometimes. And then you have places that just do it because it's their mission statement. So the first one I'm going to mention there is Chipotle. And I think we've had Chipotle once on this tour. So it's not like I'm saying we sit there and we have that every day. But if we had one there, a gig the other day, it was like, yeah, let's go to Chipotle. Great. What I love about Chipotle, you get what you want. The person on keto or paleo can get whatever they want, beef, pork, and chicken, a big pile of it. Fine, knock yourself out. Not getting into the animal rights aspect for a minute. The person that is gluten-free, can just get some rice, some veggies, chicken or tofu, pick their sauces appropriately, the salsa with no gluten in it. Someone who's vegan. There's the tofu, so what do they call it? Tofu carnitas, tofu sofrita, something like that. I forget what it's called. But they have a tofu, nicely flavored thing. I get the salad greens. I get all the salsas, maybe some corn, maybe some guacamole or sliced avocado. Amazing. Chipotle for vegan. They use rice bran oil, no hydrogenated oil, no cottonseed oil, which we all should avoid. They don't use, their chips are made from, again, no hydrogenated oils. Brown rice, you have two types of beans, very great protein source, black beans, pinto beans, etc. So if you haven't been to Chipotle, I'd be amazed. But really, what I think is wonderful is you go on their website, and even the pork, which, I wish you wouldn't eat it, but if you do, theirs is, it's got a few of the bullet points. I think it's no added hormones. Of course, all animal protein has hormones in it. That's always a annoyance to me, where you see something listed as hormone-free chicken. That's impossible. Hormone-free pork. That's impossible. It's got the hormones that are in the animal. What they're trying to say, and I'll give them credit, no added hormones, no injections and food supplements of extra hormones, which is great and commendable, but needs to be said properly. You are eating mammalian protein, mammalian hormones. For instance, if you eat beef or dairy, if you're eating yogurt and you're a human woman, born a woman, cis woman, so that you have the hormonal pathway of estrogen and estradiol and those kinds of things. So, to distinguish that and be respectful for people's identity. But there's hormones involved in your biology, in XY, XX chromosome identification. And if estradiol, estrogen, progesterone, and other mammalian hormones are already something, let's say you're in your 40s and those are tapering off and you're going into menopause, which is why, humans with those hormonal pictures should be really careful about dairy, because you're taking in dozens of female cow mammalian hormones. Again, estrogen, progesterone, estradiol, all these other ones. So hormones are in animal protein, folks. I've had this discussion a number of times over the years, where I've met people who think they're buying hormone-free dairy, hormone-free cheese, hormone-free turkey breast. No, they haven't added extra hormones, but do look that up and study that a little bit more. But Chipotle, again, has the no hormones added, pork and quite a bit of really cool metrics about the grains and what kind of oils they use and stuff. So that's one of the mainstream places in this big discussion of, hey, Andre, how do you eat healthy on the road? Which I get that question a lot. A couple times a tour, Chipotle. And again, let me make that clear. I'm not saying we eat at Chipotle every day. I'm saying when you're driving down the highway in the USA, that's really a common thing. So you have that as one option. Another option that is really cool is Panera Bread. So we have two on the list already. Panera Bread, I go to that every couple of years, but it's great that it's there. And often I'm on a tour where we're driving in a Sprint or a van. It's just pull into Panera, everyone's happy, because the person that loves turkey breast or chicken breast, they're happy, or tuna. The vegans are happy, the vegetarians are happy, the gluten-free people are happy. Panera, one of their unique things is you go in and you ask them, and they pull out a big binder or book with every item in the place, with a grid showing what has eggs, what has nuts, what has peanuts, what has shellfish, what has onions. Some people are allergic to onions. What has animal flesh? What has dairy? What really fantastic. And again, some of the mom and pop places don't do that kind of stuff. They'll laugh at you if you ask, what kind of oil are you using? So I push back on that magic dust that because it's a mom and pop place, it's better. Many are awesome. And I do choose small, independent places the majority of the time, because someone's going to say, the bullshit that someone always says. But having said that, the other side of the coin is if you're traveling and you're going from city to city rapidly, it's great to live in an America that, at least on some of these food choices, keeps getting better and better in this little bit of bandwidth. Another one that I'm amazed, this one might shock some people, but another one on that list. Yeah. P.F. Chang's. Wow. P.F. Chang's is a chain, Chinese food. I'm kind of blown away, actually. They're another place that right on their website, there's a full list of complete ingredients and allergens and different things, markings on what's vegetarian, what's vegan. They go so far as that some of their sauces with sugar in them, they list that as not vegetarian because of the bone char sugar purification process, which is another rabbit hole some of you may not have even heard of. But bone char, which is a form of charcoal, basically, that is, when it's called bone char, it's made from charred bones of animals, because that charcoal, at that point, it's like elemental. It's carbonized bone matter, and it's but like a filter in a fish tank or different things that have charcoal filtering. It's a really great way to filter out solids if it's the right density. You get it in all kinds of densities, from powder up to big pieces, a couple millimeter size pieces. So charcoal filter is a thing some of you might have heard about, and you can make that charcoal out of bone char. So look this up if you're interested in wacky rabbit holes like that. But there's some vegetarians and vegans who won't eat sugar because it filters the sugarcane liquid, the juiced sugarcane filters through a medium that's from an animal, burnt to a crisp, turned back into charcoal. But and I roll my eyes because there's but I respect that, though. If that's your line, then that's your line. But then you shouldn't leave your house, because almost everything made in a restaurant, that means someone either touched animal or used a cutting board that did, or used a cup that had beef broth in it. It gets very difficult at that level, but I respect it. To me, what's great is it's a way to eat less sugar, which is great. And it's a way to encourage the organic sugar production, all these things. And there's many, many types of sugar that do not use bone char. As a matter of fact, I know P.F. Chang's has stated that they're looking at changing their sugar source for when they need it in sauces, or using other things. But the overall point there is the fact that they would even go to that detail in their ingredients as they explain what their foods are. So if you like Chinese food, which I do, I love it, grew up with Chinese food, spent 5 years growing up in a South American country where I was born, where there's a lot of Chinese people and a rich Chinese food culture. And so it's amazing, delicious food for me, and so vegetarian friendly. Some of the most incredible vegetarian dishes and things like tofu and seitan are found in ancient Chinese and other Asian Buddhist recipes. So love Chinese food. And I know good and bad Chinese food. I've been to Chinatowns in half a dozen cities. And I'm here to say that, wow, I can't believe it, but P.F. Chang's, the dishes are great. I've only had the vegan dishes, the vegetarian dishes. The dishes are great. They're creative. There's like lettuce wraps and like a sweet and sour tofu thing. There's an eggplant dish we usually get. There's a curry, like a tofu curry with vegetables. Amazing. And again, unlike Ma and Pa, one of the toughest things is being in a Chinese restaurant and trying to sort out, is there chicken stock in it? Is there oyster? Is there this, that? It's unless there's someone there with very, very good and clear English, you're often left a little unsure, So that said, I eat Chinese food all the time where I know, and I'm speaking to someone who can help me out. But P.F. Chang's in that shocking list of mainstream places that are really great for vegetarians. I forget, there's another one that I just found out about, but I haven't been yet, and I'm spacing out on what it is. But even right there, folks, any highway stop in America, you're going to probably see all three of those. Oh, what's the other one? Panda Express. That's the one. I haven't been there ever. I don't think, maybe once. But look up their website. They just did a massive increase in vegan options. A couple new tofu dishes. They used to have chicken stock in like something stupid, like in their rice or something like that, or in their noodles. Again, the fact that they're listening, these companies, and they're doing little things is amazing. And it's just one slice of this thing of eating healthy on the road. I'm going to close with showing you what I'm going to have for lunch as an encouraging thing. But it's really great and easy to stay healthy out here. Let's see. A couple of your closing questions. Scott Mulder, yes, the sofritas. That's what it's called at Thingamajig. All right. Sharon says we love all those places. Yeah, Chang's as well. P.F. Chang in Skyline. Where's Skyline? Well, there's one in Asheville, right? At the Biltmore, where the Biltmore Cinema is over there. And that really good pizzeria is there too, that does a whole wheat crust, does vegan cheese, gluten-free crust, amazing pizzeria. Bricks, it's called. It's a little small chain. Ben Rodriguez, give me my Bustelo. Yes, I love Cafe Bustelo. All right. If you look in the mirror, you're looking at meat. Yeah, that's that part of Asheville's called Skyline. I forgot that. I didn't know that, but yeah, it's in Asheville. I mean, yeah, like Hell's Kitchen. It's in New York City, whatever. But did not know that. Okay. But yeah, I know there's little different town names at the edges of Asheville. I know. Like the Asheville airport is not in Asheville, right? Scott, that's a nice listing. Taco Bell, yeah, again, I haven't been there, but wow, they have all these things now that Taco Bell carries or has on their menu. So cool, folks. I'm gonna make some miso soup to go along with my and I'm not gonna bore you, do it on camera, but maybe one of these days. But you saw my cutting board, you saw my I just didn't show you my scallion and my carrots. But I'm just gonna chop stuff up, put it in the thermos, put some boiling water, and I'm done. It's a beautiful thing. And I've got some delicious tangerines here and the nice Vermont. New York State or Vermont, we got these organic apples. So we've got some good snacks happening. Thank you so much for hanging out. I thought I would just come on and hang out, talk a little bit about the tours I did, and but I'll stay another 5 minutes if anyone's got any questions. Go to patmetheny.com. That's where I live for the next month and a couple days, next 5 weeks, and hopefully we get another Meatless Monday in before we close this up. Long days, incredible, 12 and a half, 13 and a half hour days. It's pretty incredible. You saw some pictures. It's a ton of amazing equipment for one person. Just, spectacular. let's see. We can close with some pictures and any questions you have. Let's see. Let's see. These are some fun shots. Oh yeah, that was fun. I'll share some of these. And you might have seen my post the other day where I got to see Joni Mitchell's guitar. Wasn't that cool? Where are we? We had an amazing dinner at this place called Hen of the Woods, which was, wow, in Burlington, Vermont. Spectacular. Okay, good. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to share. Turn that off. Let's leave the meeting. All right. Okay, so yeah, see if you got a couple questions, and I'll jump out of here. And I see a text coming in from my boss. So we work every day. Let's see. While we're waiting for those pictures to come in, Lee Coleman says, Hen of the Woods, okay, is my favorite mushroom chicken substitute. Yeah. It's called Hen of the Woods or Chicken of the Woods. Good stuff. But that's a place in Burlington, Vermont. Not at all a vegetarian restaurant. In fact, they have their own separate place called the Butchery. But like any good restaurant, and that's the gauntlet I'll throw down. You're not a good restaurant if someone walks in and says, I'd like a meal without gluten. I'd like a meal without meat. And if you can't pull that off, you don't have to change your menu. You don't have to change your name. But if you can't pull off you can't look around in your kitchen and say, oh yeah, sure, we've got oils and eggplant and some squash. We've got some rice that isn't cooked in chicken stock. We've got some greens and lettuces. We got some onions and some apples and berries or something that we can put into wild rice. Yeah, we'll whip something up for table number 7. If you can't do that, then you're not a good restaurant. I'm sorry. And this restaurant, Hen of the Wood, while it's very meat heavy, spectacular restaurant because the waiter was fantastic, polite to me. He said, oh yeah, my girlfriend's a vegetarian. She eats here all the time. She likes this dish, that dish. We can easily take out the cheese and or leave it out in the first place. I don't want them to take it out, right? You know what I'm saying though. So there you have it. All right, so going to these photos though. So this was cool. This was last night. They did have non-vegan pastries because again, it's about keeping everyone happy. But they had this little section. We sold out the show last night, and they had all these wonderful Mexican and other Latin diaspora pastries because it was a very Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx area. And so this was cool. They had some treats. I'm not a big sweet tooth, like I said, but I did grab the vegan cupcake just to, maybe I'll cut it up and split it with the guys. But yeah, that shit's heavy for me at this point in my life. A little bit of on stage action there. That is a couple of Pat's guitars. We had a very challenging place last night because we had to take everything up the stairs, up the steps in this venue. And so we had to take the guitars out of their vault and carry the whole vault up. Not us, but the staff. So very, very going to your questions. No, Sharon, not at all. This show is just my representation of everything. Pat is not a vegetarian. He's a very healthy eater. And while I don't think he jogs now, he was years ago, you'd read interviews, he was an avid runner, tennis, swimming. So very healthy guy. But he loves kinds of foods. But no, this is a show about me in terms of my diet. And, I'm always concerned about misrepresentation. I said that at the beginning of the show, but you might not have been. And it's Metheny. Barley miso and tahini mixed together tastes like bacon. I didn't know that, but yeah, I guess that's very, it's very subjective. But it's got a great umami, that's for sure. Okay, this was also last night. We had this wonderful artist who I watched her at 10:30 in the morning when we were coming in. She was just starting in the bottom left corner to draw this. So every sold out show, she does a chalk drawing of the artist. So that was pretty special that we sold out the show last night in Chicago. The town I was a baby in, my parents emigrated when I was 5 months old. So I lived in Chicago from age 5 months to about age 5. It's always special to work there, as I have with my hands and with many other artists. So this woman's, so if you want to check her out, Late Night Chalk Show. I think that's funny. I zoom in there. Late Night Chalk Show. Very funny. All right. That's a little close up of the detail, and including the little metal bar that hold his cable from falling off. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this is chalk. Very good texture and stuff. Okay, another shot of my world last night. You don't usually see this, all these guitars out. But again, because of the special conditions, we had to take them all out and then take the guitar vault down the steps. 6 strong people did it. I did not. So there's a bunch of guitars. We've got some of his Linda Mann nylons, 2 of his Roland GR3, that's the brown Roland guitar, the guitar synth, and a nice Fender Squier 6-string bass, the white bass laying out of that case there. And then the, what else is there? The original Guild phase dance guitar, one kind of in the center, but you can only see the side of it. It's pretty cool. Very historic guitar. It's on, all kinds of tunes across the heartland and, San Lorenzo and phase dance, all that stuff. So we have these amazing guitars. That is my colleague and friend, Zach Rosenberg. We were to carry some guitars up steps and we couldn't resist the photo op. I'm wearing the same shirt. Actually, I'm wearing mine the next day, but that's Wes Montgomery on the shirt because we played in his hometown, Indianapolis, and it was his 100th birthday around now. This is outside the gig last night, which there's a fireplace, so sunny. This is fun. I'm always nerding out with history in the midst of all the other shit I do, but we played at Royal Oak Theater in Royal Oak, in Detroit. And one of my favorite bands, as many of you know, is Utopia. You know, anything Todd Rundgren does is just me. But so there's this video called Live at Royal Oak, and of course I had it playing in the background during my setup time, going like, wow, I'm in this amazing place. But in the video, there's this shot of Todd, and I think that's Steve Bell, and the baby who becomes Liv Tyler. At the time, Todd thought it was his kid. I think that's who that is. But anyway, that is the thing that happened. But there they are backstage in the Star dressing room. And here's the dressing room. Look at that. It's the same room. If you look carefully under the, you can see it's the same exact room. So that was pretty cool to see that. And then here's Todd coming down the steps. This is in the video. And there's the stairwell, which one of the pictures, you can see the pipes and stuff. Anyway, last bit of rock and roll history is these Joni Mitchell pictures that I mentioned before. So there she is playing Black Crow in that famous concert with Jaco Pastorius, Pat Metheny, Don Elias, her partner at the time, Lyle Mays, Michael Brecker. What a band, what a killer band. And then she's playing her Ibanez Joni Mitchell model of the George Benson guitar. There she is again on that guitar. And there I am with the guitar. And if you zoom in, you can see it says Joni Mitchell. So that was amazing, because that's a really important record to me. And to see the guitar that was part of the show is like such a cool. So those are the fun things that happen. Here we are, Indianapolis, a couple of days ago. And here is the results of a couple of nights of taking a break. And then this is the hen of the woods dish that I had. Oh, this was delicious, you know, over a bed of wilted greens, hen of the wood mushrooms with corn and, you know, leeks and all kinds of stuff, onions. Robert Montgomery, the son of Wes Montgomery. Again, we played in his birth town, Indianapolis. Robert came to the gig. Wow, that was pretty amazing to meet his son. Wow, living connection to the legend himself, the master, Wes Montgomery, who, of course, one of Pat's favorites, and one of the people that Pat is always happy to reference as somebody who he loved as a teenager. And as he said, he started out, he used to play all the West tunes, play with his thumb, play all the octaves. Pat has said this in many interviews. And then he kind of used that as a launching place to get his own thing happening. So there we have it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to go get a bunch more stuff done, including a meal. Oh, yeah. Here's my little vegan bowl that I'm going to have. And then one of these nice, these are my favorite containers, you know, these, there's plant fiber, biodegradable. And there's a little plastic involved with the dressing, but look at that. Can you see that? That's gonna be good. Beets, some kale, some cukes, a little wild rice mix. Gonna be delicious. And I'm gonna make a nice, fresh, hot miso soup. And then I'm good to go. Take a walk, get an early nap, and come back and get some paperwork done. And we do it again for 5 days in a row. So there you have it. Wes Montgomery. Got my shirt on too. There's Wes. 100 years of Wes. Love it. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Thanks for checking it on Facebook. Hey, Eddie's there on YouTube. Thanks for coming in on YouTube. How you doing, Eddie? Good afternoon from San Francisco. And that's so cool. A couple people are watching on Twitch. I didn't check Twitter because it sucks. It made it difficult for me to get in there. But good to see you all. And again, the message is simple. If you could just one day a week say, I'll go meatless, just this one day. All kinds of things. Find some new recipes, maybe eat at a new place you never ate before. Maybe for some of you, feel better that day. People say that all the time to me. It's not a guarantee, but that little drop in the bucket, you are starting a process of getting this planet a lot more plant-based. As Terence McKenna said, the plants have a plan for the planet. And one of them is how sustainable if we made more of our fiber and our clothing and our foods and our fuel and different things in a sustainable way, in a plant-based way. If we be like plants, because plants recycle, dead animals and dead plants, mostly though, the decaying matter of biological planet. These photosynthesizing are something we can learn from. So, there's the message, and hopefully I gave a little message. How easy it is, actually. PatMetheny.com for the tours, guitartour.net for what I'm doing. My Patreon is patreon.com/Andre Chumley. Pretty simple. And we'll see you on the road or back here.